everybody. I believe I was trying to do this topic one day, I think yesterday more so. It didn't come out too well. Video kept getting, live feed kept getting chopped up. So we're going to redo this one for today. Um, of course, I'm pretty sure if everybody's already aware, probably seen the picture on the screen. For the most part, we have the talk in the NBA today with the Dallas Mavericks trading away 26 Luka Doncic over for to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, and compensation was for the Lakers to trade Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first round pick to Dallas for Luka Doncic, Max Killeber, and Malik Morris, which then include the Utah Jazz were involved for a third team deal. Of course, this shocked a lot of people because um, after giving and hearing every reason why more so the Dallas Maverick has decided to move on, they were saying more so that it was skill related wise that they didn't think Luca had the defensive intangibles more so in order to win. And so they looked the other route more so and decided to go with the, I guess you want to say, hot hand more so, for instance. I'm not saying that. I've been Anthony Davis fan in the past. I would say his first 4 years, the New Orleans Pelicans at the time frame, he did show, and I think with the Lakers, he also showed like his leadership skills also as well. Even though he didn't have the wide broadcast that he had in New Orleans, but he has shown that he has the skill, he has the potential to be a star. He is a proven all star anyway. So with that, uh, I'm sorry about that. Particularly, my opinion is I feel um Lakers could win in this trade war. I mean, it's like I said, it's 2029 because we're in 2025. So that's another 4 more years from now to see how the trade value works itself out. But we have years to see where this whole thing will structurally sit to where who wins the best out of this deal. Because in the hindsight 2020, Houston could easily win. How's it going? Um, Houston could easily. I mean, not Houston, but the Jazz could easily creep up on everybody, and literally, and then in the forefront of everything, the Lakers could easily, the Lakers could easily fall out of place because let's say the style of play is not there, and uh, it's going. Let's say the style of play is not there, and that it don't mesh as well with the coach. Consider that as Darvin Hamlin right now. I really don't know how mentality is surrounding Luca. Or so I didn't really. I followed his career in the first starting points. Always knew he was going to be a star. As far as taking over the league now, I feel like it's between because I feel like the league now is definitely more foreign than it is American based. Okay. Oh, the Gina is all right, but it's ally. So, but yeah, so don't even worry. But it says ally. So, so yeah, so we have a few years to see where the whole thing will set in precedent more so. So that way we don't ever have to worry. Because that way we'll see where everything will all transpire when it's all said and done. More so, but like I said, we're um still trying to see where everything is going to sit in well within this correspondent, please. So the department's higher. Some point. some point. I mean, he has held every single long-standing, strong man record right now. So eventually, he should go ahead. Eventually, because like I said, he's 40. He's about to be 41, 41. So yeah, he's on that tier. He's definitely at the highest rank of his class. He is the class, if we're going to put it like that, because he's the only last one standing. So, but yeah, going back to that, and yeah, like I said, there was a lot of people that were not informed about it. It was like even LeBron was not informed more so about the initial report and everything. And like, there's so many ways that this could affect a lot of teams going down further. Like I said, Lakers don't have any draft capital, so they don't. It's not like they're gonna sit up here and realistic, and they're not gonna they're gonna sit up here and realistically say, "Oh, this is gonna be the worst trade." Because you had numerous amount of trades. Like I'm pretty sure everybody remembers when the Charlotte Hornets had drafted Kobe, and then he had to end up, he ended up getting traded to the Lakers. Yeah, Mavs broke my heart. Yeah, of course, because now you just like. I mean, even though you have Anthony Edwards there, you got an Anthony Davis who's still young. I mean, like the Dallas Mavericks still probably pull something off. They still can. I mean, now they have leadership. Now you can say that. I feel like with youth, I feel like now they could have like matured. They could have maturely built off of their franchise. Now I just feel like now you're in a standstill. But again, I don't follow NBA draft as much, so. Teams that could be traded, the whole fan base. I wouldn't give up on a franchise just yet because sometimes like the franchise can make the best. They make the best moves in transition sometimes because realistically, I might be a fan, but I'm not going to say what was best for the team or so. I've been a Sixers fan my whole entire life, and I'll still tell people to this day I would have rather signed Jimmy Butler than keeping Tobias Harris, and that's my own personal opinion. So it's just to an opinion. It's like I say, I'm not going to be the person that's going to hop off the ship as soon as like they make one bad move because again, you're going to go through years of. You might go through years before you have a winning season, depending on your team and the criteria and the marketing too. So some things you can contest and play into a factor. Well, I understand because you're probably a dedicated Dallas Maverick fan. And that's understandable because, like I said, Luka should have been the franchise. He should have taken over the franchise more so. I really don't understand, how do you move on upon a piece like that? Because going into the league the next, 4 or 5 years after LeBron retires, you're going to have mostly all foreign-based players anyway because I'm not trying to say, they're not, they're not from America, I got to say foreign, but everybody that's from overseas is going to be an MVP. And it's the most, I ain't going to say it's going to be the most interesting thing to see in the NBA because NBA was always based upon I want to say it was kind of based American. Now it's really, really different because you can see people from different countries and their talent worldwide more so. And I'm loving that for the league more so. I'm mad, like I said, and granted, like I said, I understand with you being a Dallas Maverick fan, but now Luka could probably end up, if they set the franchise right, like I said, they have up until 2029 and hopefully see how things work itself out more so. And then that will be the other thing. But like I said, you had more worse trades than that because, the Milwaukee Bucks traded Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to the Lakers back in 1975. And that was another one. Then you seen how that spurred on to a whole nother genre right there because Kareem was the man back then, more so. And there's plenty of there are literally plenty of other drafts that trades that were unnecessarily why would you? Because like I said, even going back to the Kareem one I just named, that led them to the championship wins with the Lakers more so against all the Boston Celtics more so. Another one was what was this? When the Boston Celtics traded draft picks for Chauncey Billups to Toronto. So, and that was the first future trade that they had more so. And with Chauncey Billups, Um, another one. Here's another one too. Anybody? Lucas, yeah, he should have. Here's because I tell people this to this day. Because on my list, there's a list of like dumb trades. I still will not even tell you off the rip how I will trade draft picks to get Rudy Gobert. But you barely get Kevin Durant for the picks that you did more so. And this is like, it's not the whole thing of washing apples to oranges. And again, you get a different skill set with Luka and AD more so because AD does primarily focus on, I mean, he's not primarily, but he's a good focus on the defensive side of the ball. So that is the other thing where he'll help you out definitely more so than Luka. I'm not going to try to discredit him, but you should have definitely got more stock. Definitely got more stock for what you had for him. That was a future talent that you should have broke the ceiling and broke the bank for. Now the Lakers got him for almost dirt. Now, I ain't gonna say dirt cheap because it wasn't like a straight up trade, but like they had to give up more compensation just to get him, which makes sense anyway. But there should have been more draft compensation. But right now with the Lakers, I don't even think they have any more draft picks up until this point. I don't even know if they have any draft picks up for the next like 2 years up to this point. So, it's several different ways. It's like what? We can go. I'll go and name you some more ones. That's like majorly known. The Seattle Superstars when they traded Ray Allen to the Boston Celtics back in 2007, and that's how the Boston Celtics got their big three. So again, depending on the criteria, because no matter where the franchise is, if your needle is here, but you need to go here, it's going to take so much, though, more so. Rather, because I feel like now with the Dallas Mavericks, I feel like this: whoever gets to it's not who gets, who wins. It's who wins the NBA championship right now before that 2029 pick hits. Who advances more? Who wins more? And where they get more? That's where it's going to determine where does that sit at more so as far as who won the trade and everything. But yeah, it's we can go to even more noticeable trades that they had over the years. Brooklyn Nets, they had traded for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. And that was back in 2013 or so. And, that helped the Nets stock up their future more so. And like I said, there's always shows where trades don't have to equal to immediate success. Sometimes it's about building around the success you already have more so. Another one. Here's another one. The New York Knicks had traded for Eddie Curry back in 2005. They acquired him after he was struggling for never lived up to his full potential in New York. He went to Orlando after a straight-up trade with Victor Oladipo, Ilyasova, and the draft pick for the right to Tobias Sabonis and Serge Ibaka. So, there's many ways. Mavs can win shit. Luka. It wouldn't. It just would. Honestly, because any Dallas Maverick fan that's been around, for that period of time frame that was there when Luka got there more so, there's going to be a sense of it's probably not going to feel right. But you're gonna, if y'all win, y'all win. The way, looking past that, you win the NBA championship without Luka, then you're going to have to say that the owners were right about the decisions that they made, because then it made into the right prospect. Because again, they're on the cusp. Now the fact that they got it, it's okay. And again, are you a fan of the player or are you a fan of the team? That's just the more so the thing. Because I was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan my whole entire livelihood. When we said that we was going to get rid of Le'Veon Bell and AB, I was like, man, for real? And again, it's still a growing pain now to this day, because once Ben retired, we're still trying to figure it out. But again, your franchise is always going to have is like every 10 years you might find where the window is going to be. You can see where your team sometimes is going to be depending on, injuries, other outside issues. Regardless, it's a professional team. So many things and so many variables could play itself into play. So you never know. And again, because like even when AB and Le'Veon Bell left, for me as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, what success did they have after the fact? We still don't have success. So even sometimes when moving on from, certain players and certain pieces, you'll never still be the same franchise because the recognition is always not there. I mean, because there was an arguable time you could have said AB was like one of the greatest stat line receivers that there was because he arguably was for about 7 to 8 years. So, so give or take how the way things shift. When the man's getting a whole life. Yeah, he's definitely. I do feel where you're coming from because Luka is definitely a future hauler. He's definitely a future hauler. I gotta say, like, out of all like the guys are in the league now, I definitely between Jokic, him, I feel like the conversation with Embiid, if he stays upright and stays healthy, yeah, they're definite. I'm not going to tell you their first ballot. I'm not going to tell you they're going to get in by the year after they retire, but they're going to definitely be mentioned heavily in the Hall of Fame category list for years to come. Another one, here's another trade, everybody probably, like I said, these are all trades that everybody probably were familiar with. The Chicago Bulls traded for Nikolai Valanciunas. Bulls gave a Wendell Carter Jr., Otis Porter Jr., and 2 first-round picks while Valanciunas is a good player. Transitioned into success for the Bulls. And that's, and like I said, some trades don't always, work itself out all the time. Another one. Here's another one that ended very fast that I know a lot of people probably... I don't know if they even were from because this was short-lived. I'm pretty sure the Los Angeles Lakers traded for Russell Westbrook, which I'm gonna tell everybody it was a disaster. Russell Westbrook, and I'll tell everybody today, 0 was my favorite in OKC. I'm not picking him over top of KD. Is that he was my favorite player to watch, more so. And it was just I'm just now looking back at that. That had to be top. That had to be one of the top ones. They only gave up, like I said, Anthony Davis. I'll go back there for you more so in a second. Max Christie in a 2029 draft pick. So again, you're having a 2029 draft pick for the next 4 years. Who is going to come in the league by the next 4 years that you had to really scout and see their whole high school career by the time they hit the collegiate basketball court at that point? That will be a long time that you're waiting for that talent to prosper. And then here's another thing. Not all draft talent prospers well into the NBA. That's the other thing too, because sometimes you will thinking that this will be the thing and it just will not be. Yeah, the Lakers didn't give up much for him. Honestly, it just seemed like they traded another player, but the other player was going to I think he was just draft compensation. It was trade compensation more so for the other team. It's not like it was a major ordeal for real. Yeah, I think that was the Lakers one was because going back to that, the Russell Westbrook trade was definitely the worst. They gave up so much for Guy. They did very little. And that was the year, I want to say the year prior, they went ahead and already traded to get Anthony Davis. So then you went and traded to get Russell Westbrook, who was he on Houston or was he on the Wizards at the time? I think he was on the Washington Wizards, if I'm not mistaken at the time. But regardless of what, it wasn't like Russell was coming off an MVP year. He was coming off of just another average triple-double season at this point. We already know who Russell Westbrook was. He was the triple-double guy. He was on a stat pad. at that time, and the styles of play did not go well. It was very atrocious. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was mad weird. Like that time for Russell Westbrook, because he was one of my favorite players, was a mad weird time, and I'm kind of like, why did we have to go that route in a sense? But we got what we got in history, unfortunately, and that had to arguably be one of the most weird. That had to be the most arguable, like, worst trades ever in history, honestly. Probably getting more news by the time I get to everything else like that. Probably was going to talk about the Royal Rumble. When it comes to super teams, now here's where I'm going to I'm trying to arguably and objectively go about this more so, because I will honestly tell I hated the Golden State Warriors more so at that time frame with KD at that big three. The thing was that we seen at that time frame how. Here's the thing: if you throw an injury in the Golden State Warriors, that's the only way you beat them. If you just throw LeBron's Heat in there against certain teams, it's not going to always be. It's not always going to be them winning all the time. Yeah, and that's where you got to play the variable heavy. Like Golden State was already like the juggernaut at that point when Steph was just still the man breaking out. I think that was his unanimous MVP season after he lost in the finals, more so. So yeah, I arguably hate the Golden State Warrior dynasty than I do the Miami, because they didn't even have a dynasty still at that point. More so, because I think honestly both teams didn't even win like 3 championships with their respective groups, more so. If I'm not mistaken, I think Golden State appeared more, but I think Miami won just 2 out of 4? More so? Yeah, they won 2 out of 4, so you gotta give them that. Like I'll give Golden State, everything they've earned, because they're 5 years, the first 2 years with Steph when he won it the first time, and like you said, 73. Then he won again with KD back-to-back times. So, their franchise make the adjustable moves in order to do what they need to do. And I'm not mad at that more so particularly. But it's kind of hard to really say. As far as like these trades are concerned, I'm not trying to say or not trying to diminish anything for the Mavericks. They could easily win, honestly. I feel like Lakers could win long term, depending on how you build around. But as far as just franchises now, because on paper it looks good for the Dallas Mavericks, but it seemed okay for the Lakers. You gotta see how when both teams play each other's respective players and see how it all fits itself. More so, I'm still trying to understand, like, even though it wasn't still straight up, it still was like one of the things we did that would like to currently see. Yeah, I heard about that. Because that would have been nasty. Because I heard of the times when like Kobe, I'm not sure they were on like the tail end, because I think Dirk left before Kobe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Kobe with anybody just would have been insane. Because you got a guy who's not afraid to take a shot and who's going to make a shot at that point, and he's going to overall play ball. Like, that's the thing. Like, I can respect a guy who can overall do it all. And that's what Kobe was, more so. And Dirk was so finesse. His game was like pure. That's one thing I like about some like the other foreign players. Their game is pure. Like, this You know when a step back coming, and you know at the end of the day they're going to play their heart more so, but they're going to play it in a way that you're not going to be able to compete with it, but you're going to have a hard time with it every single time. Yeah, I'll probably be doing another live on here sooner or later. I probably would have stayed on the Sports Talk top 5 all-time NBA players. So here's where the topic comes. So it's kind of hard because I'll tell you automatically. I wouldn't tell you Jordan is up there without the shadow of a doubt. I would tell you Bill Russell is definitely one of the greatest, but it's different when you're a role player and you're able to move around for a lot. Because even David Robinson, you can say for a numerous amount of time. But the top list for me, Aaron is really tricky because first of all, it's Wilt Chamberlain. Or skill set overall wise, you can't touch him. Second will probably be I want to tell you Jordan, because at some point I am going to throw maybe LeBron into this. I'm going to throw LeBron into my lineup at some point. So you already got Wilt, you got LeBron, and you got Jordan. And then the last two, here's the thing. I'm debating because there's two players that were on the Lakers whose careers, like, objectively speak for themselves. Now, I would have said Larry Bird more so, but it's hard for me to not put Magic Johnson on. But here's another thing, too, where it's hard for me to pick between Larry Bird and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So it's very hard. It's very hard because Kareem's career is just like when you go to the spectrum of it all, you can't talk. You got to put Razor on time. You got to put them on there more so. And it's very hard. Like I said, that's the same thing what I'll arguably say about Wilt. Nobody's numbers are going to touch this. And that's argument. I gotta say for my reasons for Jordan because of legacy and longevity, even though you can count his first, like I hate when people do this, his first 5 years is like average NBA players at best. You know, he's a guy who can score. I mean, when you're at a down slump, you gotta have some stars shining more so. Did I even throw LeBron in my conversation? Yeah, I did. I did throw LeBron on there because it was the three. So yeah, LeBron, accolades, achievements, success, those play heavy in my favor, and that's why when I talk about Kareem, when I talk about Magic, everybody said Magic was tragic the 1 year. Listen, everybody has seen their greatest star fall on. Like Steph has had more worse final games than any superstar that there is, more so. And you can go look on the history note, but still. So, yeah, it will be Kareem. It will be Magic. It will be LeBron. It will be Jordan. It will be Wilt. Bro, it's because, remember back in the day, I don't know how well you'll transition, like, the back then footage that they had onto, like, a TV screen now. I don't know how... you can convert that more so. It's I can say it's very hard because you got to transfer old data that looks like how it is and unencryptedly go ahead and adjust everything that was in that line. But, I mean, I'm not even talking about 100 games. Like, I'm talking about the games where he just arguably just took over a game and you can't do nothing to stop him. Like, that's how much of a problem Wilt was back in the 70s. And now a lot of people are going to talk about it. I am, but Wilt was a problem. And the only reason why he don't have one on his belt because that era where he was and who he is. Honestly, he was an era. Because there's no player in this league today, tomorrow promise is going to touch on his numbers. And that's a standstill on history more so. So that's the footnote. Like I said, guys, I am going to probably have a WWE talk eventually coming up also as well. That's one of the topics I wanted to talk on. Horrible top 10, top 10 player. Yeah, yeah, man. I can't even say LeVar Ball is top 10 player. I'm sorry, I couldn't even like take that serious. Sorry, Wally. Yeah, if y'all do, also hit the subscribe button, like also the video. Like I said, I am going to be dropping another live coming soon. It'll probably be later on. Like I said, it's World Rumble talk. So trust me, if you're in the WWE, we're also like doing more sports talk probably tonight. I am going to be going live more on my sessions also as well. I'm supposed to be going live for a workout session tomorrow. Um, Again, join me at subscribe to my Patreon, subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on Twitter at Frank Greatness, and like I said, follow me also on my IG. Again, I thank you all for coming out tonight. And if you want to have more sports talk, whenever, if anything does drop, I do appreciate everybody for coming out. All right. And thank you. And also,